trend. Screen glow bright, midnight dance. One more move, one more chance. Stop lost tight, but my hope runs wide. Do I bail right now or let this ride? Every signal talks like it knows me. Every move could crown me or ghost me. I'm tracing the arc in my mind, chasing the shape I can't find. Hey, turn or trend, they both been riding that swing till the very last. Stand up and down again, again. Are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both been. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then bend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, spin that.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How we doing? How's everything? Site check, mic check, vibe check, all checks. You're gonna love me today. I have finally cleaned up the dots indicator to its purest, best, cleanest form. You're going to love the new trading format. I'm gonna wait for everybody to come into the room because we've got a lot of people coming in here. And when everybody gets in the room, I'm gonna share with you exactly what I did. Everybody go out there, delete the old one, add the new one. I just uploaded it. It's called BFF Dots Only Easy. That's the new version. Easy, baby, easy. I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to be able to trade this in a million different ways. Hey, Saber, how are you? You're really going to like this this version of the indicator. So I'm going to let everybody come into the room. Thank you, astrologer. Keith in the room today? Keith is going to get big credit for this because he gave me a very, very key UI clue of how to make this even easier than before. And you guys can literally see this on the screen. I guess Keith it's very late for him, so he may not be there. Good morning, good afternoon, Martin. How are you? Gene, everybody. Who's new in the room here? Come say hi. Next order of business actually for me is to rewrite the whole dots document, which I will. But you'll see how cool everything is once we get into it. So before we start, hey Tony, how are you? Before we start, I want to tell you. Markets are obviously. To get the indicator, you have to be part of our coaching, which, by the way, coaching is tonight. If you guys want to get it, let me give you the link here. This is the link to coaching. There is a $97 refund that I give you right away, which you can go buy Apex accounts with. This is the last day to buy $17 accounts from Apex. So you could literally get yourself four Apex accounts, or maybe even 5 Apex accounts for free if you join my coaching today. So go out there. If you want the indicator, get the link for coaching and get 5 free prop for trading accounts as a result of it when I give you the funding. All right, we're watching. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. I am short off the purple dot, and if things go my way, which God knows, of course, they never do, we have the second purple dot. I'm going to enter second short on this second dot, assuming we close on a dot here. We got 30 seconds left on the clock here. So I'm shorting the London lows here on the second dot. Keep watching it. Keep watching it. Keep watching it. 16 seconds. I'm showing you one version of what I think you guys could do here with the new version of dots. All right, 3 seconds. I'm short off the second dot. The stop is above this big fat dot. And the exit is going to be on the third red dot. It's a 1, 2, 3 punch. We need a third red dot. Now, it's always risk. It can always go up against us, can stop us out, blah, blah, blah. That's always true. You know, it's a thousand things that can happen. But the basic sequence, see, there's a dot right here. It's kind of showing us. Want the candle to kind of obviously go as far deep down on the dot as possible on the move here. See if we can get it. It's making fresh London lows. We'll see if we can keep the dot. No dot may bounce back. I may get completely tagged out on this, but but this is a high. This is the super high payoff strategy that I want to show you. There's a much cheaper, easier payoff strategy where you enter on the dot and exit on the second dot, which could have been a very quick, easy scalp profit, which is fine. But I'm going to try to milk this. I want to show you the possibilities of what happens if you can milk the dots to their biggest possible profit versus taking very, very quick scalps. You can decide how you want to trade it, what you want to do, and do it any way that suits your personality or your risk approach. What I'm doing is going to cost me a lot of money. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to have lots of big, $100 losses, something like that, but I'm also going to have huge wins. They're going to completely not only erase but completely overwhelm any losses I have, because I'm going to be wrong on 1, right on 2, right on 3. I'm going to be right when I'm right. My size is going to be much larger than when I'm wrong. This is sort of the Vince protocol. This is what Vince, Cohn, who's the president of Apex, their first $1 million trader, did all his life to truly get paid out big. And it's not a natural process. I'll be the first one to admit it, but it becomes a much, much easier process when you have the dots to guide you. When you have the dots to guide you, it tells you 1, 2, 3 what to do, and it sort of becomes easier to understand. Yeah, this worked. This didn't work. My risk is still very much controlled here at this point. But obviously, I'm trying to press this. I want to see the third dot here. The third dot. 1, 2, 3 exit dot. And of course, if you're a real pig, you can sometimes try to go for 5 dots or whatever you want to do. There's 100 different ways of how you could trade this new approach that makes it super, super flexible. All right, I'm getting the dot here. There's only so much pain I can take. I'm going to take this out. This was a quick $40 trade in a matter of 3 minutes. I wanted to show you the perfect move, but we're hitting London session lows, so I kind of wanted to close out. So let me schematically show you what I did. First of all, thank you, Keith. Keith had actually retrofitted dots with his own proprietary rigmarole, making the purple dot, which is, let's call that the starter dot, right? The white dot is the starter dot for the dot. Look at this. See, I have zero patience. I would have made 50 on that move had I just simply waited for the red dot to complete. But that's, you know me. I'm always exiting early. So the structure starts, every single dot sequence that I'm sort of looking at starts with the purple or the white dot. And, and if you're only trading trend, obviously we're underneath trend, so maybe you only want to trade the purple dots. But, it's up to you. But they are visually bigger. They're literally by default made bigger. You can make everything here the same size or bigger, but making it bigger just makes it so much more intuitive to understand. Oh, this is my starting dot point. And the structure is very simple. You take the trade, your stop is basically 2 points above the high. Just enough to give you, so you don't get clipped out on slippage. But generally, if you have a good trade, your stop should never even come close, because the whole point is you're starting the proper descent or you're starting the proper ascent. So entry 1 is the purple dot. Then you hang. And then you have the next step, the next decision point is the next dot. Now there's 2 ways to do this. If you're just a sort of a one trade, let me just get out and make my money quickly trader, you trade purple dot, exit on the next red dot. However much that is, sometimes it's 20 points, sometimes it's 10 points, sometimes 5 points. The point is you have no idea what the market is going to give you. And very often it gives you a really, really pleasant surprise, right? So that's 1-1, just boom, boom, you're out. If you want to do what I call the Vince protocol, which is you get in front of a trade and then you press the trade and you press the trade. The only way that I can do it within my own personality that I can sort of handle the sequence is 1, add 1, exit 3. So 1, 2, third exit. Third dot is my exit. That gives you too large on a continuing trade. So, let's just for argument's sake, I'm in here, I get stopped out, it's minus 20. I'm in here, I get in, I add the second, it becomes plus 50, right? That's how the trade works. In a perfect world, it's kind of like I'm out, I'm losing 20, I'm plus 50 on a really good trade. Sometimes you can hit plus 70. But the most important part, the really, really important part, enter on the close. The entry is always on the close. We're always entering on the close, right? Because you want the confirmation that this is, and exit is always on the close. This is the other important part. In order to really milk that third dot profit, you want to just exit on the close. Now, sometimes, yes, it maybe drop 1,000 points and come right back up, and you're not gonna get the full profit. But generally, if you're getting a third dot, it's going to end up on the lows, which means you're going to get maximum profit. Your sequence is basically this: 1, 2, and then 3. Right? This is where you exit. 1, 2, boom, exit. You can do more. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do if you're really, really a great holder, you can just make mint. The point being is what you're doing, and you also don't have to add. You could sort of say, I'm going to enter here and wait for the third dot to exit. You can do a million different things, but the critical thing that I kind of want to tell you, why would I be waiting for a green dot? I'm showing you a short here. I'm enter. Yes. This is not the white. This is not white dot green dot confirm. This is you basically in this particular structure, and you guys can do it whatever way you want it. In this particular structure, the white dot becomes the starter. Or the purple dot becomes the starter. Now, by the way, it's much easier to have the purple dot be the starter if you're trading. We're underneath trend. We're clearly downtrend, right? VWAP is over here. So you can just ignore all the white. You can just not trade the white dots. You can say, I'm not trading any counter dot trades. Or you can refine your whole structure of how you want to do it. The way you want to enter and the way you want to do things is absolutely up to you. What I'm trying to show you is that the new dot indicator makes it incredibly easy to see where you should be entering, and more importantly, to see where your stop should be. Like, the most interesting thing about this is that the stop is a killer stop. 90% of the time, when you take the stop, you are in absolutely the right place, meaning that you've taken the minimum amount of risk necessary for the trade. Occasionally, you're going to have this little painful situation where you take a stop over here and it goes back up. So what? It happens. Like right now, I'm going to trade the reversal with you. I'm going to trade the white dot as a starter of our trend. We got 35 seconds left. If this is a V-shaped form, then the market will never come back down below the white stop. If it isn't, then we get stopped out. Big deal. We're gonna get stopped out a lot more, but when we win, we're gonna win a lot more. So we go from like 80%, but with very, very negative risk reward, to 50% with very positive risk reward. And more importantly, it takes only 1 or 2 trades to make $100 per each account, and then you just move on to the next account, I'm going to trade the eval account with you guys today. Sorry, bye. Here we go. Bye. I'm a little bit late. I'm talking, so I'm not paying attention. The entry should have been here, right? So here's my stop. My stop is 2 points below the starter dot, right? If you just want to scalp, Oh, actually, shit. Unfortunately, I made money too quickly. I have a 20-point target on, just sort of on my risk reward structures, and usually what I do is I move my target up, so that I give myself room to run. But this is a very, very fast V-shaped move. This trade could have made us a ton of money. But I'm talking, so I'm not showing you the full possibilities of these trades. And I'm going to do a million of these things with you, so I really don't care. But the way you would have done this is you would have been in here on the white. You could have either just held it and just simply get out one single trade here. This would have been like a nice 30-point clip. Or you hold this too. Now you're just holding the position, depending how much of a pig you are, right? This is a pretty big move. I would say, because it's a volatility candle, this is a 40-point candle. I would have probably exited right on here. That's the other thing, is that the indicator now tells you what's a high vol candle. And if your second candle is a high vol candle, the probability is that you've made a lot of money. I'm using 2020 as my starter pack. It's just there as a wrapper. The stops and targets are completely organic to the dot structure, because that's the market structure. I'm not superimposing my desires on the market. I am just simply creating a protective layer on my trade, and I'm letting the market give me as much money as it can. So in my beautiful classic trade, if I had just really been focused, I would have been in at 35, added at 468, and exited at 83. That would have been a $100 trade on 3 micro contracts in less than 90 seconds. Boom, move on to the next account. I hope you guys can see the unbelievable power of doing it this way. Not only the unbelievable power, but the unbelievable ease of using dots this way. Like, they just literally lead you from one profit target to the next if you just let them in this new formation. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I knew you guys would like it. This was, by the way, hey, Tony, you want to guess what number this was? If you guess what number this was, I don't know. I'll give you something for free. I'll give you an Apex account for free. Orange X tells you it's a 40-point candle or more. It's a high volatility candle. 97 is too much. No. Not F21, way too low. But 97 was too much. Rodney says 43. Nope, higher than 43. Let's see what's the guess closest. And by the way, look at the V-shaped move here. Look at this vertical move and how the dots just by holding the dot, you're going, no, Rodney, 55 is still too low. 56 too low, astrologer. But you guys are getting close. And by the way, this whole idea of like starter trade 64. Oh, Peter, you're one off 63. Very good. Peter gets the prize today. I'll try to figure out what it is. 666. No, it wasn't 666. But yeah, it was 63 rewrites before I finally got it to where I wanted it to go in its pure simplicity. By the way, the code has been cleaned up. It's literally a third of its original length, so it's much cleaner, much faster. I'm really hoping I can get. I'm gonna sweet talk Rob and sweet talk him into completely updating the wealth trust part, because now this is really very solid. It's super easy for his programmers to port this, and I'm hoping that I can get him to do this and then port the .orb. So then we will have exact same code on wealth charts as we have on TradingView, and then we can redo it. Yeah, I was kind of obsessed with it. I'll be honest with you, Peter. I had 2 hours of sleep last night, but I'm feeling great. That's very close. It's exactly right. I had 63 minutes worth of sleep last night too. That's right. Yeah. But it's very cool. I mean, it was very, very cool because I was trading this on my real account and on this one, and I really like. Oh, and then I also. Oh man, you guys want to see something cool? Let me see if I can show this to you. Hang on. Let's see. Hang on one sec. Because I got totally obsessed, of course. I wonder if I can show this to you. I don't know if I can. So we got 5 minutes before the market opens, so no trades, anyways. But let me see if I can log in to my. Let's see if I can get access to this from here. Oh no, damn. All right, I'll show it to you next time. On the MT5 scalper. By the way, just letting you guys know that I'm going to not this Saturday, but a week from this Saturday, we're doing a really, really big webinar for our friends at ACAP, where I'm going to really discuss the ORB strategy in full detail and also present a full mechanized automated version for the ORB strategy with MT5, as well as the MetaTrader one-click trader, which now I put in, which is really, really cool. Actually, the ability to put in stops and targets manually into the thing instantaneously to adjust prices. I have to show it to you. I can't describe it, but it's really, really cool. It makes both single, hotkey and manual adjustment of all your stops and targets super, super easy. But I'm going to do like a whole structure on ORB. So if you're interested in the ORB strategy and all of its nuances, it's going to be 7 a.m. Saturday, March 28th. That is it. Yes, that's it. Carlos. We are upgraded the whole thing. I'll review everything again at the 10 o'clock hour. I just kind of got everybody into. We just did a few trades. I got everybody into the whole structure of what we're doing. We also have. Where's my New York session's got to open? Oh, we're still 9:25. I'm just waiting for the New York session to open up. Here's the New York session starting to print. Okay. Purple starter dot, right? We're gonna try and do this again. We're going right back into the. Well, no, we can't. Sorry, we got 5 minutes to the New York Open. I really shouldn't do this. We're gonna wait for the New York Open to trade this. But once New York Open goes, you have some big X's on your chart and many on ND. I don't know what that means. Your chart should look exactly like mine, unless you're using it on CFDs, and then if you're using it on CFDs, it's going to look like shit. This is not designed for CFDs. It's designed for futures. For CFDs, you have to adjust. I haven't even. You have to adjust all the ticks and everything else. This is designed to trade futures. For CFDs, when I do the ACAP webinar, I will. Adjust it for CFDs, but I'm not adjusting it for it now. So, we're trading futures. This is for design for futures. Yeah, orange X's are high vol X's, but you shouldn't have too many of them. You probably have a lot of X's because you are on a CFD platform, and it's completely different point structure. Again, this is designed for futures. That's what it's for. All the default settings are for futures. You need to start trading futures, Peter, or figure out what the volatility settings are on your particular platform. No, I haven't done ORB yet, although I did finish it up. It looks, I think I have the final version. I think I'm going to, when we do coaching today, what I'm going to do is everybody in coaching. That's another good reason. If you want to get into coaching today, you're going to have the first release of the ORBs. So that will be my little enticement for everybody to come and join me in coaching. So here's the coaching link. I'm putting it in there. If you're not a member of coaching, come join me. So what time is it? 9:28, 2 minutes to go. Just watching the market open up. Yeah, we're going to start the email campaign. I'm gonna talk to Kay probably tonight. Tonight will be the first email campaign to register. It's going to be a private webinar for GoTo. Haven't done that in a long time, but we're going to be on GoTo, private webinar on this. I'm going to bring a lot of really good resources for it. Full study guide, everything. We are 55 seconds away from the New York Open. It's going to open up. Big support at these levels. Probably, that's certainly, I definitely think that they're going to rip it up before they take it down. This is 24 to 25. That, it's $100 run. Very likely it could go that way. The PP delta is now placed over here to make it much easier for it to see. It's red because we're choppy right now, right? So PP delta is a little bit red here, but if we burst back up, this thing is going to start turning green very quickly. All right, 5 seconds left to the open. If maybe they're gonna flush it through the London lows. I have no idea. We'll give it a few minutes to see how they want to play it out. Here's the New York session. New York lows opening up. We're flushing it down through all the levels. This is a big, massive vol candle. Huge amount of open. A lot of panic on the open, obviously. So, we hang tight. This is not a candle that I will take because this candle already tells me that my minimum stop is going to be 40, but in fact, it's probably going to be 80. So it's just too big a candle for me to participate in. You see, I have this little X. I made it very, very small, but you can make it larger just to see that it's a volatility. You can adjust the vol setting over here. So where's this vol setting? It's under high volatility candle settings. I have it as tiny. You can make it small, and you can right away see that it's going to be a bigger X. You see that? I made it a bigger X. Okay, we testing the session lows. This is a lot of vol here. A little too rich for me. I could take it here, but it's a little too rich for me. We'll see how deep and sharp they want to take the move to the downside. Also, inside this new version, I made it very, very simple. There's just dots. There's purple dots. There's green dots. There's red dots. There's slope. There's range. There is the PP delta. All the things to kind of filter our best trades. And I made one counter trend structure, which is point of control buy, point of control sell. So if we're at the lows, and I activated point of control buy, this is. If we cross this level to the upside, close above it, that's my reversal signal against which I will trade if I get that. Most likely what's going to happen, we'll see, maybe not yet. If we make fresh lows, the point of control buy is going to really slide all the way down here. So the reversal signal is going to be much closer. But for now, they just dropped the London Open. It's not inconceivable. It's markets are very, very nervous right now because oil prices are just so high, and it's very unclear whether it's a 2-week situation or a 3-month situation. And the difference between the two is the difference between just massive, economic disruption in the global energy chain, which is the global economic chain. So that's the problem. The problem is how quickly can we subdue the Iranians, and whether we can, take Karg Island with minimal effort. The moment that happens, oil will drop $20 in one day. It will evaporate, and Nasdaq could go 1,000 points up. But between here and there, nobody knows. It can go 2,000 points down on another month worth of grinded out action. Everybody wants everything super fast. Of course, life doesn't work that way, but also life doesn't wait to react. That's really what's happening in the market right now. That's why we're just getting pressed, because people are projecting their worst fears in absence of any concrete information. And the other thing is that I was listening to is that it's very true. You literally don't know what's going on. Everybody's lying. Everybody's lying. I think we're obviously lying much less than the Iranians, but everybody's lying to some extent. So to truly understand how good or bad the situation is very tough. And when you're the first casualty of war is truth. And I think the first casualty of markets is fear, right? So if markets don't feel like they have a good grasp on truth, they just dump. And that's really what's happening right now. So watching the lows, obviously trying to hold the 300 level right now. See how much, looks like market makers just absorbed all of the selling. Even Powell doesn't know. Powell always pretends like he doesn't know. Powell's two favorite words is "we'll see," or "I'll let you know when it happens." I can't commit either way. Powell is a guy that dates a woman for 20 years and never commits to marrying her. Is it for the future an option of everything from currency gold? Sorry, Desai, I don't quite understand what you mean, but let me know. Okay, so the same concept of pressure confirmation is a concept we're going to be using in all of my trading technique. If we make a fresh New York session low, we're going to sell that with a stop above that candle, looking for exit on the next New York session low. Tony says it's called psychological operations. Oh, okay. So this is really a tough choice for me, because the momentum trade is to sell this. Let's do this. But I'm going to show you the momentum trade. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't really matter. The stop is right above, and I will reverse the other way on the point of control. So we made a red dot low, New York session low. Sorry, let me actually want to move this back a little bit, because I want to right now I'm looking for the next red dot to exit me out. Maybe if I can make a fresh New York session low print, it'll exit me out. If this thing reverses completely, we're going to use that as our reversal anchor. This is a very tough trade because we've sold so much. I really don't like selling momentum into the lows. Very often it's pretty much selling the lows, but I want to show you, it doesn't matter. Right now, I'm really going to just show you. The whole point is we're trading very, very small sizes, very tight stops. If I get stopped out here, it's utterly immaterial. Now I have the point of control the other way. If this thing holds above 59, the point of control is 59, meaning the level that I need to close at is 59 or higher. If I close at 59 or higher, this becomes my stop, and I'm going to trade against the stop, okay? So let's see if that works. If we make fresh New York session lows, we're going to sell those and try to exit on the next New York session lows. Obviously, the markets right now are just consolidating the first 5 minutes of a sell-off, and the big question is more, or are we done and ready to run? So look for this number. If it goes to 59 on a closing basis, that's going to be our long entry. And you see, like over here, okay, buy. We're in. Now we're oh, fuck. All right, I made money. I'm sorry, guys. Too fast. My stops and targets, because it's such a powerful move here. What I really wanted to do was to be in here and have exited on this one. Fuck me. All right. Today is just for demo purposes, so I'll be missing a lot of really big trades. It's just nature of the beat. But you see what I mean. The dots guide you to profit. That's the whole point. They really guide you to profit. This flipped around from like a negative trade to a plus 30 positive trade. Ate all the losses and made 30 positive in really, really quick time, right? So mainly because my stops and targets on this thing are 20 points up, 20 points down. And maybe what I should be doing, let me see, just because I haven't had a chance to configure all this stuff. What I think I want to do is let's adjust this. I'm going to make this 81.60. We're going to give this 40 points up. So I give myself breathing room on the stop, on the target. Okay. So the way the trade would have gone is I would have gone in here, added here, exited here. This would have been a $200 trade if I just traded perfectly. But who cares? There'll be literally 1,000 of these in the next 5 days. The key thing is you see how it just guides you up, 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 and away. Once you got the structure down, because prices follow dots or dots follow prices, and we follow dots, and it really makes it super easy to create interesting, effective trades. You guys following me? Oh, hey, so Priya, sorry, thank you. I finally understand your question. So actually, it's really a good deal because I cover futures. I trade only futures in my coaching. But as part of my coaching, you also get Kathy's coaching, and she only trades Forex and fundamentals. And you get to have coaching with her every single day as part of this package. So if you're interested in trading Forex with her system as well as futures with my system, you get two for the price of one. It's a super, super good deal. So the answer is yes, you can get both. Most people usually kind of like separate themselves into different groups. But if you want to be in both coaching sessions, you can be, because the one price buys all. The answer is yes. Miguel, what do you think? You like it? I get a thumbs up on that? I feel bad that Keith is not here because he's kind of like the silent hero of this. He's the one that really turned me on to the idea of the visualization of the dots like this, where I was able to completely reconfigure it. So again, let me just sort of show you the proper way of trading. And this is very, very hard. Oh, New York session high here. Okay, we're at New York session high. We're going to take this trade. It's a big ass trade, but we're going to take it. We're going to take it. Astrologer, you were right. but you were wrong by about 5 minutes, but you were right ultimately in your directional view. Okay, so it's both New York ORB high and New York session. Ah, shit. Sorry. Fuck. I'm talking too much. This was a huge candle. This was a very, very big candle, so I shouldn't have taken it because the stop would have been like 80, 90 points. Okay. So I'm very excited about all this stuff. So I'm not trading my best, but I'm definitely not trading my worst because the structure just keeps me going. The ORBs are not, they shouldn't be showing up. I have to just try to fix this up because the ORB sessions have not. Let me see if they've been properly set up. Maybe the problem is the ORBs have not been set up yet. It's a 17. Where's my ORB? What are the times? Show RB lines. Verticals. Okay, Asia 17 to 18 to New York is 8:30 to 9. That's correct. Okay, it's on the Chicago time. Yeah, that's correct. 2 to 3. Okay. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the breaks. Now, if this makes a fresh New York session high, but it's not like a yellow, not a huge volatility candle, that's going to be a really good entry for us. It's really, really easy with the large white dot, large purple dot, right? As starter dots, really makes it easy. Okay, we have a New York session high coming up. 51 seconds left. Oh, you know what I think? Hang on a second. The timing is all just. Let me see if the New York. Maybe it's 9, 10. Maybe this will stop. Yeah. Okay, that's it. It will stop on this. Okay, no session highs, nothing there. By the way, now that we're at session highs, we can switch the point of control. Where's my point of control? Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong one. Go back to easy. Look for your point of control. Since we're at the highs, we want to be looking for point of control sells. This is obviously way, way too early, but now we're going to be trading off session highs. So if we have a reversal off the highs, this is going to be our guidepost for where we want to be, trading reversal points. Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Who's new in the room here? Come say hi to me. We're having a blast with my new version of dots. Lots of volatility, just a perfect market for us. Massive ranges. We just need to wait for the signal to let it happen. New York range is last 30-minute range is 184 points. Really, really big moves. Okay. What time is it? 9:46. Kind of chilling out. Still underneath the VWAP, still essentially in a down market. Anybody want to tell me why this red candle isn't giving me a dot? What is stopping it from giving me a dot? Anybody know? Let's see how well you know the whole dots methodology. Why is this not a dot? Maybe it should be, but why isn't it? Anybody want to guess? Slope is green. Exactly. Slope is green. Haven't really. No, the bigness is not the issue. The bigness would just simply tell you by the X. X will tell you that it's just a big number. It never. The bigness is a neutral setting. It just says it's just big. You decide if it's worth the risk. It never filters the big. What it filters for is the slope, and slope is everybody who trades with me knows it's probably the single best derivative indicator we have, because if the slope is positive and the candle is negative, it's usually lying to you, or it's usually actually a great buy. That's one of the other setups that I've really had a lot of success with, but I just sort of dropped it because there's just too many other things going on. But if you're buying the red against the green slope, or selling the green against the red slope, usually those are excellent structures. The key thing there is that since you're buying at the bottom, it's very hard to figure out where your natural stop would be on that type of position. In a perfect world, it's almost like right then and there. If you bought this, this is like a 40-point bump. I mean, it was really, really great. It's like for those guys that like to trade value, buying the red candle on green slope or selling the green candle on red slope, very, very good technique a lot of times. I'm watching the PPP delta is just you see, went down, up, essentially. Now we're finally starting to break out a little bit. Delta gets positive. New York session high. We're going to buy this if it holds the high. Let's see if it can hold the dot. Buy long. All right, we're long here underneath the high. Underneath the high. I'm going to try to exit hopefully on the second New York session high. If I get one more label in New York session high, I can try to exit on that label. Oh, big moves. Big moves. Whoa. All right, I'm just going to exit on the scalp. So dot to dot, right? Dot to dot, boom. Nice clean out. Could have done more, could have pressed more, but that is like the really simple, easy setup. One dot, second dot exit. Now this, and I never hold hard enough. But if you were a really, really strong trader, you would have done one, added here. If you had the balls, still holding the stop over here. This now becomes obviously a very, very large variance trade. You go from now you're like plus 80, plus 90, and if you're right, this is going to be a $150 trade in 3 minutes on just 3 contracts. Super fast, super big money on 3 contracts. But at the same time, if you're wrong, it's going to be a minus 100 trade against you. None of it is terminal. That's the other thing, is you notice that in the worst case scenario, it wouldn't be terminal. But in the best case scenario, this is a $150 trade in like 3 seconds. I took a $50 trade, because my personality isn't wired for holding it like this. But the classic sequence is enter here, add here, exit here, right? If you did that, it would have been 58, 84, exit at 97, right? So altogether, 58, 84, whatever the fuck that is, I can't even add up, but that would be like a $120 trade, 3-minute trade with micro contracts. Yeah, Saber got $250. Yeah, good job. Yes, gold is going crazy. We don't trade gold in the morning. We in order to trade the way we do, you have to trade only one thing, one instrument all the time. I cannot divide my focus. The deadliest thing you can do in kind of scalping that we do, we've done like already 20 trades in 20 minutes. You cannot divide your focus. Much as I'd love to trade gold right now, that's not what we're going to be doing. Everything has a trade-off. Making plenty of money trading NASDAQ, so there's no reason for us to go elsewhere. No, so Tony, this is the classic dot trade is white dot, red dots, but this is the New York session high. It's the ORB breaks. This is the same idea of initial signal, secondary signal, and then when we go into the ORB lines, you're going to see that there's an ORB break. We take that trade and we exit on ORB confirm. It's the same concept is dot to dot, high to high, ORB break to ORB high. Same idea over and over again, right? Just different entries depending on what you're trading. I was trading the New York session high in this particular case. Is that clear? Every time is different, Ben. That's the whole point. Every time it's different. Because you don't know, sometimes the market will give you 150 points. Sometimes it's going to give you 20 points. You're not imposing what you want. You're taking what the market can give you. Okay, fresh New York session high, right? You want to press this, like to show you the trade again would be, if this holds, buy this and try to exit on the next New York session high with a stop underneath here. If we're going to press through the 500s, this is probably good. I'm going to do this with you guys because it works great. If it doesn't work, it's a tiny little loss for us. It doesn't matter. It's a big momentum move. 6-7 seconds left. Okay, we're going to go in here. I got to be underneath here on the stop. And as I said, the best thing about this particular setup is it gives you a super clean exit. If I get stopped, I'm 100%, 95% wrong, which I probably could be right now because of the big retrace, whatever. Today, I really just want to show you the sequences and not necessarily, select every single trade that I want to do. But this is a very legitimate trade. New York session high. If this is it, and they're gonna reverse the New York session high, fine. I'm gonna eat this trade. I don't give a shit. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. I'm the crazy chef. All right, we're out of here. But watch this. This is a point of control sell, right? I'm going to just be very, very patient. Let's see. If I may get whipsawed on this, but I'm going to go down. So now I'm trading against this high, and I may get whipsawed. The whole point of doing this is, I said, you're going to lose a lot if you're not prepared to do this. Then just pick, your perfect little entries, do one single trade, and get out. But if I'm right, and this is a point of control, and it starts to turning, I'm going to add to my short, and I'm going to just convert this into if this is indeed a V-shaped turn, it's going to be a really interesting trade. If it's just a whipsaw back to fresh session highs, fine. No big deal. I'm trading against the session high right now. If it takes out the session highs, we just got whipsawed. If this is the pause, I'm gonna right now. The next red dot will be my second entry. I'm going to add to this position on the next red dot. Exactly, Rick. Exactly, Rick. You're instantaneously getting the whole idea. I simplified it to just 3 things that really matter in terms of determining price, and then you can select how, how active or inactive you want to be, right? All right. So this is not a dot because actually, because the slope is green. The slope is green. So we'll see if we're gonna have to wait more patiently to see for the next dot. We're not gonna add to this position because it may not be a good turn. Like this may still be very much a losing trade. I'm staying in this trade for bigger pips or bigger ticks. I could have taken this trade very nicely for like $30, $40 right now, but I'm just trying to show you the pig protocol. See the slope finally starting to turn red. As the slope turns red, if this thing starts going red dot, that's going to give us hopefully better, more confident secondary entry. That's great. I'm glad you're doing great, astrologer. $10 news. What's the news today? What's up today? New home sales. Not a big event. Let's see what they want to say. Low. Whoa. That's bad. Wow. Holy shit. That's really bad. I'm surprised the market isn't reacting. That's a really negative number. Okay. Now my whole thesis has just got kind of destroyed, right? And I get out. Not because I'm stopped over here on this natural stop, but because I have a white dot. And I'm going to reverse myself to go this way because the markets have just changed. And the slope changed and everything changed. And I got to go the other way. We're making New York session highs. And I want to reverse myself completely into the right position, right? And now I have the secondary dot, 59 seconds. I want to add to that. Damn it. So I added here, and I want to exit on my third dot, hopefully. Stops are going to be underneath the white. If I get whipsawed, I get whipsawed. It's just the nature of the beast. Generally, trading off the tops is now the trading off the highs is a much weaker turn signal than trading off the lows, right? I love trading point of control sell off the lows. That's a really great trade in NASDAQ because it always likes to bounce back, but then it likes to really run higher. So I'm showing you a lot of trades today, not necessarily would I be doing them myself, but it's fine. today is really all about showing you the whole process, and then we can refine it to its, to its full potential. What I really want right now is a third dot. If I can get a third dot, I can exit this whole position on my 1, 2, 3 structure, which is 1, 2, 3 structure. But we'll see. I may just be getting whipsawed back and forth today on all this movement. New York session high also over here at the 530 level. So if they take out New York session high, that will also create the exit conditions for us too. Yeah, that was a really ugly number on new homes. I'm surprised. I wonder why there was such a big decline. Nope. I'm staying underneath the white dot. That's my stop, and I may get reversed. We'll see. We'll see if the market has any more juice to go. A lot of the upside energy was right here, and now we're kind of getting stalled at the highs. But if we can bust through these highs, it's going to be a big move. We'll probably go to 2,600, and that'll be a really, really nice move. So that's the whole point of like the Vince protocol. He said this to me a couple of times, and you have to understand that mentality. He said, I'd rather get stopped out 100 times for small amounts in order to get that one big trade. And if you're not willing to do that, then you can't trade that way, which is fine. Because like if you're not willing to do that, the easy way to trade that is 1 dot, 2 dot into the next thing. And now it's just getting totally reversed. Now I'm getting the purple dot reversal. By the way, if I get a reversal on my setup, I have to honor it. Like, if you are in the position to be long and suddenly you're getting a short signal against that position, you're going to be generally wrong. You're going to be generally wrong on that position. You should have to accept it. But now we're finally starting to break out. Maybe we can get a little bit higher here. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a dot over here to work for me. Still trading around. Get a little bigger on the view. It's just getting so small already. Wow. I'm exiting and selling against this purple dot. And if it reverses me, it reverses me. It's just, it's very, very choppy market, but I got to trust the process here. Eventually the chop will end and trend will start. And I want to catch that trend for 2 or 3 moves. If that means I'm going to get chopped out a couple of times, that's fine. What time is it? It's the 10 o'clock chop, right? So we're kind of, we're getting buzzed in the 10 o'clock chop, but hopefully from 10 to 11, we get true trend continuity with 3, 4, 5 consecutive dots. That's what we're going to try and catch these moves. "24 seconds left. Let's see if this candle gives us another red dot to which we can add." Okay. So holding the stop against this dot. And now we're going to see where we can exit on the third dot. Nope, I'm getting stopped out. And I'm just gonna bleed out because I'm adding to positions and not going through, and that's fine. I'm gonna stay with the structure until until I get the move. The other way to do this is to simply do dot to dot, which would have been a lot better. It happens. You just you're gonna just be eating this this chop, which is just showing you very little continuity. Now New York session highs, breakout. Big break on the upside. Still feels like they want to run it higher. Now I have to have a huge stop here. I'm just gonna. This is my eval account. This is not my funded account, so I'm perfectly okay. Even if I draw, like the worst I've drawn down right now is $200 after all of these very, 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 like the worst conditions possible, literally the single worst conditions for my situation possible, I'm only down $200, which means that literally in 15 minutes, I could make this money back if I get the favorable conditions. That's the key thing about this. You kind of have to appreciate that literally having the worst price action against me, still not even close to having any issues, not coming up to MAE, anything, while just basically suffering through this. And remember, you will suffer through this, and then you have an hour of just pure money, and that's how it goes. You have to just be mentally prepared for that kind of structure. We'll add on the second dot if I have it. Of course, the other thing that you can do, which is also really cool, is, I'm showing you sort of the riskiest of all strategies, but you can trade one account where it's just dot to dot, one dot to the next dot. Don't take any of the big vol trades for just pure scalp moves. This is just completely, this is going to just wipe me out the other way. It's unbelievable. Really, really just big range up and down moves. This is like the most toxic kind of environment we possibly could have for my positions. Still, 2 or 3 trades away from getting myself back up. So it is what it is. That's why I'm doing it on the eval account. I obviously wouldn't be doing this that hard on the funded account. And in fact, what's cool is we can actually change. I can work a little bit of my funded accounts with you guys now, just to show you the shorter one dot to dot, to next dot strategy to make it work. But yeah, while you guys are watching me, understand that I'm showing you the most dangerous of all of them. Biggest payoffs, but also biggest losses, because when you get these big volatility reversals, everything you've built up in profit disappears and it goes to losses, right? Just how it works. Okay, selling. Actually, we're going to do dot to dot here on this one. On my 61 account. 65 account. So I'm trading one account with like adding, the other one just dot to dot. It's really hard to actually trade 2 accounts at the same time doing this 2 strategies, but just kind of want to show you, what's possible. So I'm going to try to work the 65 account first. And if I get a dot here, I'm going to exit the 65 account. So here's a dot. Here's a dot. 8-9 seconds left. Wasn't quite there. Okay, dot showing up. I'm gonna, if this stays here, that it closes on a dot, I will take the 65 account. It's really teasing me here on all these trades here. All right, we're gonna take this right now. 75 takes. Okay, 65 account really does well. Now we're gonna go back to the 97, the additional account. We're gonna sell more. And we're going to hold against the really, really hard. Wait, what did I just do? Ah, damn it. Fuck. Fuck me. This is why I hate trading two accounts. Fuck me. Fuck. Okay, sorry about that. Holding this against, this is why I hate trading two accounts at the same time. But now this is the third dot. This is the third dot on this account that's coming back now. Very, very badly beaten up. But it's fine. And I'm not even getting that. Sorry, it's really, I feel like, I want to show you so much stuff, but by doing that, I'm giving you lots and lots of mistakes on execution, because obviously you have to be just iron focused on one account, one trade structure, one thing. I'm showing you the most pressing trade that you can see. And, just fucking up my execution, which I really don't care, because this is my eval account. I'm actually nicely up on all of my funded accounts, very nicely, because I'm focusing on the one trade, one execution. When you're trying to do two different accounts, two different trades, two different executions, gets very, very messy. Fuck. See, just not getting that third dot. Just not getting the third dot today at all. But we're standing here, and we're going to stand underneath this, this stop. And if it reverses me, it reverses me. I'm just going to, the Vince trade gets pulverized today because this is why the Vince trade gets pulverized, because the Vince trade works. This is where the Vince trade works, and this is where the Vince trade dies. Now the thing is that if you want to trade the Vince trade, you got to be stubborn enough to survive this shit, to then collect all the money when it finally goes your way. But if you're not stubborn enough to survive this, you will never collect the money on this. So it's just a question of, what kind of personality you have. What do you want to do? Are you willing to fight? As I said, the main thing is when you're in these kind of positions, it's coming down, 27 seconds. I'd like to get this a little bit higher into like the 90s, but we'll see. I'm going to follow the rules here. Exiting on the dot. Nice volatility dot. Okay, let's get out. All right, beautiful. See, and now we come back, and I recovered just pretty much all of my losses here. But it was a very, very, very tough trade to get chopped out in this. In a way, it's almost like much better for you guys to see the ugly parts, because if you don't see the ugly parts, you can never understand why you'd want to do this for the successful parts, right? You see how this one fucking trade, I just held it to the three dot thing. It turned into very mentally taxing, right? So that's the whole point. This is a very mentally taxing approach versus the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm just going to take dot to dot. And maybe I'm only going to take, take the trend dot to dots. If you take the trend right now is still negative, you just take trend to dots. And by the way, the thing that kills you also is that now this fucker is going to fall 100 points. And if you held this trade would have been a $500 trade. And you just have to, understand. It's hard for me to do this I can do this myself when I'm watching it privately, because it doesn't mentally tax me. But doing it with you guys, I just feel your pain when it's going against you so many times that it's hard to really, really hold on to those type of trades. But I wanted to show you all the possibilities of how to do this with the new dots concept. Very, very powerful if you allow yourself the understanding of what really, what really drives the moves. And now we, now we're in a little bit of a pause here. Everybody's starting to see like how the whole thing works. No? Yes? Can I have some +1s, +2s? Let me know. I'm going to hang with you guys till about 10:45. Let's see if we get any more opportunities to, to trade. But if you want to just keep it simple, white dot, exit green dot, purple dot, exit red dot. Those are the trades that you want to do. Those are the easy, simple trades. Where you take your shots. New York high to New York high. Where's my what happened to my ORBs? Why is my ORBs not showing? London ORB. What's going on here? Why is the New York ORB not showing? Oh, again, is this? I'm always getting screwed up with the. No, it must be this. Yeah, there we go. There's the ORBs. Okay, so this is the New York ORB. By the way, this would have been a really good. For some reason, I don't know. I didn't have this on here. The ORB, which I'm going to be talking about on a week from this Saturday, the dominant trade on the opening range break is with the VWAP. So if the price is on, it's right now we're negative trend. So breaking the ORB down and taking the confirm down, the red trades on the ORBs, those are the money trades. Those are the money trades. I actually should have had this. I think I was just too much stuff here. So now we're kind of quiet. No movement. Now I'm going to just trade dot to dot with you guys to not tax you so much mentally on all this stuff. But I really I needed to show this to you because it's one thing to say it to you, but it's another thing to actually show you and take you through the process so you actually understand, what it feels like in the middle of that heat of the battle, how difficult it is sometimes to take a signal, get wiped out, get a second signal, get wiped out, take a third signal, and maybe resolve and maybe get wiped out. Like, yes, when you're doing these kind of trades, you can be right, you can be wrong 3 or 4 times in a row, and you have to be mentally tough to do that. It's very good. The best way honestly, the single best way to trade this is on the evals. That is just a great training ground for that type of mental toughness, because the evals, first of all, the variance is very small. You see, despite all the pain, my variance is only $100 down, maybe $150 down from my beginning of the day. Think about how much pain I had in the last hour and a half, and I'm only down at $150 on this position, which is very cool. But high risk, high reward trades really do have just massive swings, and you have to be very mentally. They're great preparations for big swing trades. Now we're just going to do clean, simple dot to dot. We don't have a purple dot to start with, but we can easily. We're downtrend. First dot over here. We're going to do this. I'm going to do dot to dot with you guys right now, just as a scalp. We'll see if we can take this as a scalp. The stop is 2 points above here. Exit will be the next red dot. If we get a next red dot, we'll exit this position. If it stops us out, it stops us out. It's a tiny little scalp. But we're with trend. We got the dot. We're going to bet on continuity. That's basically the trade. No, because those are all derivatives of the same idea, Ben. And this is a better risk reward idea under any stress scenario that you have. So here, like here's go, boom, I'm out. Like nice quick scalp, boom, I took it, right? You want to do that? Totally possible, right? Just quick scalps, just to show you what a quick, dot to dot scalp is. Sometimes the dot to dot scalp is huge, sometimes it's small. The point is, you never know what the market gives you. And if you try to superimpose your own risk rewards on the market will just make chop meat out of you. This is the whole idea here, is to rope a dope, right? To rope a dope with a market, not to try to, George Foreman it for everybody who's got the old memories. So you want me to quick scalp it? I can quick scalp it here for 3-4 times. Sometimes there'll be $20 trades. Sometimes there'll be $40 trades. And I can quickly get to my $100 target that way too. That's perfectly fine as a strat too. Like in this particular case, like this would have been 91, exit at 45. This alone, this one trade was a $100 trade. This would have just done your account in one, and then you moved on to the next account. So, when you have big range expansion, wide volatility things, the dot to dot, super good for scalping. When you have tight, you just, you're eating you're eating crumbs. We all live by this big expansion and die by this chop, but you don't have to die. You can survive the chop if you just, obviously keep your control both on size and structure. And the thing about dots is, because they give you the stop, and because you're controlling the size, they almost never bleed you out, right? It's all, what is that called? Like, surface cuts, right? What is it like? What's the term? When you really don't get, you don't get damaged. Somebody tries to attack you, but you have no damages. That's kind of the whole thing. Now, getting a white dot. Start a white dot. Let's see if we can scalp this one. If this holds, we'll get long. Stop underneath here. The point is, it's very, very natural. You don't have to. You follow the flow instead of trying to impose your own view on the flow. Right? You guys understand what I'm saying? Okay, boom. Oh, fucking volatility move here. Jesus. Wow, it's a big vol trade. So now we're going to try to exit on this dot. 52 seconds left. Big move here. Big move. You know what? I'm just going to exit on here. $50 scalp in less than 10 seconds. That's what I mean about, the dots, right? And boom, 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 you're in good shape. And if I was trading my, my really hardcore account, I would have been in here, added here, and maybe this thing goes to, to fresh session highs, and this whole account goes to net positive in one single swing. That's the emotional roller coaster that happens when you're trading the Vince approach. If you like a little bit more consistency, dot to dot obviously is a much more consistent structure for everybody. I'm actually curious. Let's do a little poll. Let's do a little poll before we go. Like better dot to dot scalp Vince protocol. You guys know what I'm talking about. For those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, just come hang out with us. I'll explain it every single day. Do some voting. Let me know. I'll hang with you guys for another 10 minutes. Let's see if we get another one. For funded accounts, I absolutely am going to do dot-to-dot scalps because I don't think I could. The mental taxation of that is kind of hard. Oh, really, Michael? Never played craps in my life. I got to ask Vince. I haven't talked to him in ages. I'm going to email him. He's going to get very amused that I basically abused. Vince Kahn is the president of Apex, and he was originally like a trader for them. He was their first $1 million payout trader. So like when I was at Big Daddy, when we were at Big Daddy's in Florida a couple of months ago, right? I hung out with him. We just sort of sat down for an interview, and he explained to me exactly how he made his $1 million, which is this way, by adding to winners all the time, which is a emotionally brutally tough trade. But that's how you make sort of like the big payoff money. So like this example I was telling you, when I was in this trade, we were in here 66, added 93, would have exited 16. This trade, which I took for like about 50, would have been 150, right? My whole P&L would have been overall positive. After all of this shit, I said to you, there's gonna be all we need is a slice. I feel like I'm in the pizza business. All we need is a trend slice. If we get a trend slice, the Vince protocol prints money. If we get chop, we have to just grind our teeth and eat the losses. But in a trend slice structure, there is zero chance. I never say this, but literally in a trend slice structure, there's zero chance you lose money on the Vince protocol, right? Do you see how much money this would have given you? I just did a dot to dot, but if we did the full Vince protocol, it would have just made you a ton of money. Okay, so now we are ORB break up, blah blah blah. But, and this is why I'm very very leery of doing this. On the ORB trades, opening range break trades, I only like to take those trades with the trend. And the trend is determined by VWAP. We're still underneath VWAP, very close. We're pretty much, almost uptrend. This may work, but not a trade that I want to do. I want to, if I'm going to take a trade, I want to take the trade to the downside. I want to break to the downside and it confirm to the downside. This is the ORB upper range. And if we break to the downside, I think there's going to be more trades to the downside. Okay, so we have the break now. It's got to hold, obviously. We'll see. We are at a point of where the buyers and the sellers are about to have a Mexican standoff. Like somebody's going to blink and we're going to go either back down or we're going to squeeze back up. I actually think we'll probably go squeeze back up. I'm not a big fan of doing a short here because the very fact that they brought it up, they held it half, they held it pretty much at mid-range, and then they brought it back up. Pretty solid performance by the buyers that they are willing to take it down. But, we'll see. I'm still going to follow the ORB structure here, which is that if this purple label remains at the end of the minute, if we're still purple, I will be selling against the high of this ORB and getting out on the second confirmatory label, ORB confirm. So let's see if I'm right on that. Trading with a trend is still the better ORB trade. All right, so I'm still in my eval short here. I am going to be stop against the high, and I'm going to try to exit on the second label, ORB confirm. If this gives me this, the second label, I want to exit on that label. It's interesting. I don't know. I got to ask Logan about that. I know that Logan does a very, very intelligent kind of a trail system behind his stuff, which is another component we could introduce into the mix. But because we're trading such short notices, okay, this is pretty good, guys. It's 85 pips. take it. Okay. Again, look how quickly I recovered all my stuff, and look how, what I'm trying to tell you, which is the ORBs with a trend really, really, really give you high confidence trades, right? I took pretty much almost all the whole move here. And now we're starting, the whole move. I can kill the ORB dots so they're not so dominating. But pretty cool, right? I mean, all the indicators, when interpreted properly, really, really give you some very, very good trades, right? For all of the pain from the 945, 1015, not only did we recover almost all the money, but we made money on the funded. And I really just sort of, this was purely a fun educational stream with you guys. I wasn't trying to hardcore make money with you guys because so much to explain on this new structure. But that's the key thing. On the point of reversal, this is actually also gave us the point of reversal sell here off the highs was a great sell here. That would have worked too. I will tell you this, Ben, that the only problem with this is there's too many choices. I think what I gave you lots and lots of different setups. It doesn't mean you have to use all of them. In fact, you could trade just session highs and ORBs, really well. Couple of like 2 or 3 trades, and you're done. And you're super focused. It's nice and clean. Boom. Every single session has usually 1 or 2 touches of ORBs. And if you filter those just the trend, those are really high probability trades. If you just want to do 1 or 2 trades and you want to trade, just trade the ORBs, great. If you want to scalp, you can just scalp dot to dot. And if you really want to go to town and run $300, $400, $500 trades off of micros, not minis but micros, you can do that. And if you really want to be an animal and say, hey, I'm willing to have $2,000, $3,000 swings up and down, you can trade the Vince protocol with minis, and you'll have just wild swings. But when you hit it, you could have $5,000, $6,000 days very easily, just because you're talking about capturing 100 points in 3 minutes, which is $2,000 on a contract. And you're going to be holding 2 or 3 contracts, right? But you're going to be swinging the other way too. So it all depends on where you are mentally, financially, whatever you want to do. I think for most people, the easiest and simplest and least risky and cleanest trade to understand is the dot to dot. And within that, it's the purple dot to red dot, white dot to green dot. That's the setup that makes the it's the most benign, right? It's the most benign. And then also, of course, the ORB with trend. Break and confirm. Enter on break, exit on confirm, right? Very, very simple. I think like the rules are really simple. Then this is why I recall it, dots only easy, because there's not 100 things to remember. There's not 100 things to watch. Super clean in terms of understanding, how the price action works. Let me know. I mean, do you guys agree? I'm curious. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear some feedback. If there's any UI issues you want to change, I'm happy, to change those too for you. But let me know. Yeah, on the PSC, you absolutely wait for the candle close. The rule of thumb is you always wait for candle close. Yeah. Simple rules, keep you I think anchored, right, in the market. And then of course all the all the range filters and the PPP filters keep you out of really dumb trades. What's the question, Clean? Dots work super for me, but you'll try the Vince protocol. Yeah, I'm putting this out there because there are people who have who really like to go for big P&Ls. I think if you're doing sort of like, if you're the home run hitter for everybody who's not American, that's like in baseball where you have very few winning performances, but those performances are extremely, extremely strong. right? If you're a home run hitter, you do the Vince protocol. If you're Ted Williams, Rod Carew, get on base, 400 batter, you're doing dot to dot. I am very much kind of a batter. I'm really get on base, get the runs in. Don't forget, guys, everybody, shit, I totally forgot. Apex last day today, guys. Get some Apexes before the shit starts to get very expensive. Get some Apexes, and if you want, if you get the coaching today, I'll give you the money so you can get the Apexes right now and lock those down. So let me just put that up there again. Here's my coaching link. Those of you guys that want the coaching tonight, 7 o'clock, we're obviously going to deconstruct this in much more detail in coaching and talk about everything else. But yeah, I'm very excited. I think this is the really clean, easy way for us to trade day to day without too much interpretation. Everything is on the chart, and we trade with the market instead of trying to impose our will on the market. So hopefully you guys agree. Code is much cleaner, loads really fast, and for everybody on wealth charts, I'm gonna go hand in hand and beg Rob to redo the whole thing, and I think he hopefully will. And we're gonna put both the ORBs and the dots only tonight. Everybody who's in coaching is gonna get the ORB code, and then tomorrow I will put the ORB code for everybody else who's part of the thing. Okay. Oh, all right, shit, I gotta go. The queen is gonna be calling me to get into a meeting. Thank you so much, guys. Hope everybody had a great day. A lot of fun hanging out with you guys today. All good on the P&Ls, and we're just gonna keep running them. Okay. Everybody, take care. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm gonna go beg Rob and see if he'll do it with me. Okay. Will I discuss Vince? Yeah, I'll discuss anything you want in coaching today. I'll discuss anything you guys want in coaching. Okay. Oh, we got a little scalp. So, against this, let's see. Let's do one to dot to dot. 47 seconds left. Let's see if this dot holds so we can get out of this position. Actually, I'm sorry, I got to run, but I'll let you know how to trade plays out. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.